All right, I'll go ahead and get started. Hope everyone's day is going well. So the topic for today, we're going to be talking about cardio versus strength training. Um, this was a topic in the poll that some of you had interest in, and I'm pretty excited to go ahead and give you some information that comes surrounding it. But first and foremost, when it comes to like the poll was kind of phrased as cardio versus strength training, right? And it's not that one is better than the other. I think there are some coaches out there that really like to focus on one, or maybe there's friends out there that are like, oh yeah, you just need to run and do a bunch of this, or there's other coaches out there saying like, no, I never do cardio and I have a six pack, like cardio loses your gains and things like that, right? I'm sure we've all heard all of the above. And the both of them are very beneficial still to our health. They both have different benefits and should be incorporated into our movement if we can. But again, it's not a one size fits all. It's about what fits you, what works for your lifestyle, and also depends on what your current goals are at the moment. So, any and it's not that one is better than the other. Um, we want to make sure that whatever movement you are the most consistent with, that is the most sustainable for you, that you enjoy the most, is going to be the best movement for you. And it doesn't matter if that's cardio or strength. So just keep that in mind. Whatever works for you is the best for you. So let's talk about cardio a little bit. And one of the ways that I like to think about like cardio and strength is that cardio is a short-term investment, and strength training can be viewed as a long-term investment. Now, cardio can be viewed as a short-term investment just because during it, we burn the most amount of calories. Let's say that you are running pretty consistently, you're probably going to see adaptations to that running or just cardio in general pretty quickly. You'll be able to improve maybe your mile time. You won't get as winded as quickly. It's really easy to see results just from session to session. So you'll see quick adaptations happening, and you're going to burn more calories during that session. Whereas strength training can be viewed as a long-term investment where like maybe in the moment you're not burning as many calories, but you're playing the long game because it's going to take longer for you to build that muscle and see those strength improvements over time. So, from session to session, you're not going to be able to go from lifting 10 pounds to 15 pounds or to 20 pounds within a week. But maybe maybe you could, but maybe I should make that a little bit bigger. um, it just takes a while in a strength program. When we see strength training, it's usually blocked out for at least 6 weeks at a time for you to see the full results from point A to point B. Anywhere from, I guess at minimum 4 weeks, and then at max 12 weeks of just repeating the same workouts over and over again, having the progressive overload being implemented to see those results as far as strength, and building the muscle that you want, and also building the bone density that you get from strength training. And just as fast as you see results with cardio is just as quick as they'll probably fall off. I know that if you get off your routine and then you go back to run a mile again, you're like, oh my God, feel like I need to start from the beginning. But with strength training, if you take a week or two off, usually you can go back to the gym. Maybe the first day might feel a little bit hard, but you're pretty much back to lifting those same weights that you were before. So those results, or those, the results that you get from strength training are just going to last a little bit longer for you. I think a lot of us in the space, I guess I wanted to touch on HIIT. I don't know if anyone is familiar with that term, high intensity interval training, or what is another common term would be circuit training, because this has a combination of both. You are lifting weights or you're doing strength body weight movements while pushing your cardio at the same time, cardio and endurance at the same time. So you're working both in a sense, which is great. But you're also not going to optimize both in one session, right? There's only like you can only lift so much so fast. There's definitely a limit when it comes to that. But let's say like this is a style that you really enjoy. These are the classes that you like attending, but you still want to see strength gains, right? Like you still want to put on muscle because you know this is important to you. Then how do we manage that? And really, it's just making sure that we're implementing some key points. So that would be increasing your weight. So if you were able to complete that workout with 10 pounds before, next time you go to repeat it, go ahead and add a couple more pounds. So maybe you go to 12 pounds, maybe you go to 15 pounds, and you continue to increase that as you go. Um, Does this mean that maybe you're going to do less reps? Yeah, might be, especially once you get to like 20 pounds or 25 pounds. Instead of busting out 20 reps in 40 seconds, you might be down to 10 or 6, and that's okay. Because mentally you're going to know that like, okay, I'm not going for the amount of reps here, I'm going for the amount of weight. So there's going to be a trade-off there, but you will be getting stronger. You're going to be giving your muscles the stimulus of like, okay, we need more muscle in order to be able to lift these bigger weights. So there's still a way that you can change the stimulus that you're providing your body, even with HIIT or circuit training. I think another one, so let's also talk about what is the ideal split, right? Like how many times a week should you be should you be doing cardio or should you be doing strength training? Ideally, you're doing about 2 to 4 sessions a week on both of those. So you'd be doing about 2 to 4 sessions of strength training and 2 to 4 of cardio. So anywhere in between that. So let's just go on the lower end. Let's just say you can only do 2 sessions a week. What does that look like? So you could do it together. You could do lifting first, and then you could do cardio afterwards. Maybe you do like a 30-minute session of lifting weights, and afterwards you get on a treadmill, you go out for a run for about 10, 15 minutes. There you go. You just did both in an hour. And you could do that twice, 3 times a week. Or you could separate them if you want. You could do 3 lifting sessions and then have 2 extra cardio sessions a week. You could then, sorry, one second, guys. Okay, I'm back. So that could be an option of making it all work together. And I think that leads into another question of like, okay, what do I do first? Because right now I gave the example of doing lifting first and then maybe going out for cardio. Or do you do cardio first and then do some strength training? And this ultimately depends on what your goals are. Are you prepping for a 5K? Are you is doing a long hike or like running a 5K or a marathon or something in your future? Then I would prioritize cardio. Do cardio first, because that's when your muscles are the freshest and that's when you want your muscles to do the most work. But now, if you're like, no, I really want to focus on strength, then, or my main focus right now is just fat loss and putting on some more muscle to change my body composition, then we would do strength training first. Again, because you want to prioritize your main goal and you want to do that For cardio, another important thing is differentiating the type of cardio that we're doing. There are two different kinds. There's the HIIT, which is high intensity interval training, but there's also LISS, which is low intensity interval, no, not interval. Oh Lord, I forgot what LISS stands for, but it is for low intensity. And these have two different effects on our body. When we're doing HIIT, the main fuel source is going to be carbohydrates, because carbohydrates are the most readily and available in our bodies. Our muscles store carbohydrates, our liver does, and there's even and then our body even has this third way of creating new carbs if we need them, if we're really doing that much cardio. But that's going to be your main source during that type of exercise. It's going to be carbs and depleting that for energy, just because it's quick. Our body's already prepped for that. And that's why having carbohydrates before your workout, after your workout for recovery is so important as well. Now, when we're doing low intensity cardio, we do want to elevate our heart rate a little bit, but not too much. And at that point, our body will actually use fat as the source, because we have time to use it. Like, we don't need it as quickly. We don't need our muscles to fire as fast. So we're able to use fat during this time, but there is a threshold of going from doing too much that then we just transition into carbs. But again, this is getting into like really detailed, like optimizing the type of cardio that we're doing, optimizing our workouts in general. So I don't want you to worry about it or overthink it too much, because just doing movement or just doing a cardio session is fantastic as it is. Trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to cover today. I think I hit most of my points. So I'll go ahead and leave it at that. If you guys have any other questions, or if this sparked any other interest, please let me know, and we can go ahead and cover that on future topics. Other things that I wanted to maybe work on with you guys is working on exercise form. I had a great question from Carol this week asking me to review her deadlift and give her some tips. And I really enjoyed doing that. So if anyone has any questions around specific movements, I'd be happy to even use this call as a demonstration. I can go into my garage, explain a couple of movements for you guys. So that was just an idea that I have, but maybe we'll do that next week, something to look forward to. We could review something like the deadlift or squat, just because I know those are really complex movements for some of us. All right. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.